Hello. What you're about to see is the testimony of a lady named Judy. Judy's been a part of Faith Family Church for a few years now. And when she first started coming to Faith Family Church, she'd been diagnosed with the final stages of cancer. Basically, she'd been given a death sentence by her doctors. They told her that she was not going to live. But to the contrary, she received her healing. And something else that had happened too is she had lost her voice. The cancer she had caused her to lose her voice. She could speak in a whisper, but even at a whisper, I remember when I would be talking to Judy, I'd have to lean in and really listen to her. And as you'll see, her voice has been restored as well. So watch this amazing testimony of this lady who was completely healed of the final stages of cancer and had her voice restored.
My name is Judy, and I live in North Augusta. And in September 2009, I got for 2 years I couldn't talk, but it would go in and out all the time. And I kept going to the doctors, but it was always good when I went to the doctors. So finally I went in there and told him, look, I hadn't talked in 4 months. Send me to a doctor. He said, well, I'll send you to a specialist, and he did. Well, he checked me out and he says, you have cancer, you got throat cancer. I says, well, I got to go, and I left. And about a week later, he called me up and says, I give you a week, get in here. So I got back in there, and he told me I had throat cancer in the vocal cord, and it was at the last stages. And he wanted to do chemo, radiation, and then operate. So I went home and I prayed about it. God finally gave me a peace over it, which I never was really upset like I thought I would be with the big C word, you know. So I kept praying about it. So I took the radiation and I took the chemo. And I told him, you're not operating on me. And they're going to take out my vocal cords and put this thing in there where you stick this other thing in your mouth and you talk. And I said, no, you're not going to do it. He said, well, I tell you what, you just go home, crawl up in Jesus' lap, and have your good cry and let him hug you, because you're going to die. And so I said, no, I'm not. God gave me a complete peace over it. God would never have gave me a peace over it like he did if I was going to die. But at the same time, during this whole thing, I had 2 sisters wanting to go to church with them. Well, I didn't want to go to a church where my 2 sisters went and my 2 brother-in-laws. Well, guess what? I went. And they taught me how to accept my healing. God had already done it. I'd get on my knees and cry and beg all I wanted to, but it had done happen. I had to accept it. And this church taught me how to do that.
Tell us about when you went to the doctor. I remember you said something about they did a bunch of tests, and then he called you back in and did some more, and then he called you back in and said the cancer was gone.
Yeah, that was after about a year and a half.
Uh-huh.
They was wanting to run more tests for lymph nodes. They was wanting to run tests for up in the head or down the spine, because the kind of cancer I had spreads. But after they run a few tests, I let them run some tests on my head and all, and they couldn't find no cancer. So for 2 years I went to the doctor, 4 different doctors as a matter of fact, and they can't find no cancer. They won't run tests other places and try to find cancer. But you know what? I've had my share of cancer. I'm not doing cancer no more. So, yeah. Lymph nodes, spinal, colon, all that stuff, no, they're not going to do that. Because God healed me, why do I want to go borrow trouble or run up bills that I don't need to? Well, guess what? Now I got 2 sisters, 2 brother-in-laws, 2 sister-in-laws, about 10 and 12 nieces and nephews, and it's great. They all learning how to accept God's promises, just like I'm doing. And if you want to find a good church, come on down to Faith Family, because they'll teach you how to accept your healing, how to stay healed, and how to prosper in anything else that you will need.